up here at Circle Debate Podcast, episode 67. And it's pay attention to the Titantron, because we have our brother from another mother, the prodigy of podcast, is here with us today, as we're going to go ahead and discuss the recap of AEW Dynamite, the preview for Rampage, NXT releases, and much, much more, and also a Triple Mania coming up this weekend, Andrade and Omega. So don't go anywhere, as episode 67 begins now. And welcome everyone to the Circle of Debate Podcast. Well, actually, no, it's Circle of the Titantron Podcast. That's what it is right now, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. This is the host is Devious One, Ivan C. Here with my brother from another mother's, both of my brothers right here, from the League of Extraordinary Podcast. Of course, we have once again the prodigy of podcasting, ladies and gentlemen. He's the one that gives you in 15 minutes or less what you need to know, so you get it rolling, get to go. And that is, of course, our brother from the League of Extraordinary Podcast, Mr. Anthony from the Titantron Podcast. What's going on, brother?
What's going on? I'm only here to let you guys know that due to budget cuts, you guys have been released from the League of Extraordinary Podcasters. So I wish you guys the best in your future endeavors. But, it's great to be here. I was telling Ivan before the show, there's a lot of shit to talk about, and I felt that this was the perfect time to come back on the Circle of Debate and chop it up with you guys. So I'm looking forward to it.
That is right, and I appreciate you. And damn, future endeavors for us. Damn, Mike. That's a problem.
Hey, man, it's budget cuts at the end of the day.
Yes, 90 days until we can pop up at Dirty Heels.
And of course, we have the master disaster, the king of Sting, the man with the plan, and that is Money Mike Lopez, ladies and gentlemen. That is right.
That's right. Plenty to talk about. Let's get to it.
That's right. The By God of podcasting. He has a lot to speak, but it's mine. But before we move on with speaking about it, let's speak about what happened this past week in AEW's Dynamite. Let's start off, obviously, with the beginning match, which we had the Elite, the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega defeating Dante Martin and the Saito brothers. It wasn't a bad match. It was great overall. But then we did see the aftermath. Christian Cage coming out, and obviously, and then him saying that, Tony Khan approved this, Rampage coming up, that I will get an Impact, not an AEW, an Impact World title on AEW. Then the Jurassic Express came out. Jungle Boy said, "Oh yeah, it also came with Tony." We got our tag team title shots for next week's Dynamite. So I'm gonna go ahead and take it to you, Anthony. Your thoughts about the opening match, and were you in shock that it was the Impact and not the AEW title?
Fucking great match to start off with. That's going to be a trend for like the rest of this review. All the matches on AEW this past week were great. They were really solid matches. When it comes to Christian, they announced that All Out, it's going to be him and Omega for the AEW title. So we're going to get the match at Rampage for the Impact title. I'm not really surprised by it. Considering, obviously Hangman's going to take some time off. So you need someone else to come in to face Kenny at All Out. And I think it makes sense to do Christian and Kenny here because, now that we have Kenny, maybe we'll start losing all the belts. It makes sense to start and have him lose the Impact title to Christian at this Rampage event, which is my prediction. And in story, it makes more sense because we haven't really seen a lot from Christian in the world title picture. So it kind of makes sense for him to come in and take the Impact title off of Kenny, because now that kind of shows, maybe Kenny could lose the AEW title to Christian. So now it kind of sets it up a little better in story. Do I think it's going to happen? No, I don't think he's going to take the AEW title off of him, but it gives you that little inkling of hope. But as far as the match on AEW, honestly, I put it on Twitter that I would rather see Omega versus Dante Martin than I would Omega versus Christian, because holy shit, he had a great performance.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the whole hot tag that he came in with, just the Hurricane Rana on the outside to Omega, that was, oh my God, he was star-making performance. I really hope they go all in and I would love to see Dante Martin and Miro for the title, for the TNT title. A lot of possibilities there with him. But yeah, everything from the match to the segment after. I like that we're getting Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, getting the title shot next week. A lot of good stuff right off the bat for AEW. So I'm looking forward to all of it coming soon.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Money Mike.
Man, what a great start to the show, really. And that's what I always enjoy about AEW Dynamite. It starts off with a bang. Starts with such awesome matches, So yes, it's Wednesday night, and we all know what that means. It means great wrestling. So definitely great starting matchup here. And Dante Martin, man, not that I ever questioned his talent, but my goodness, just the athleticism of that young man. He's not even 20 yet, from what I'm aware of. So yeah, this kid, the sky is the limit for sure. Like Emperor Palpatine said, I'll be watching your career with great interest. So yes, so there's that. And for the all-out choice of going with Christian, okay, people say, oh, WWE guys, they only get them and they push them and blah, blah, blah. But here's the thing. For me personally, I actually was looking forward to a potential Hangman Omega match more so than a Omega and Christian match.
Absolutely.
So just there, it goes to show that it's not necessarily true what people say, or the criticism of that they only use WWE guys. No, because this story has been bubbling up for a while, and so yeah. So that, am I disappointed in the Christian change? No, I would love to see Christian win the Impact title. I think that would be a great choice. Like Anthony was saying, that Christian has not really been in the title picture, but he could easily be a world champion, and I think this is the way to do it.
I agree. I definitely agree. And not to remind you that Christian is not technically a TNA Impact champion. He was an NWA TNA. So technically never counted as an Impact World title. So him winning this, like I agree with you both, him winning it off unexpectedly on Rampage. Let's just say maybe title for title all out. Kenny regains it back. That could be the case. Or maybe Impact needs a new face forward to have Christian more on Impact, but in a way which it will hurt him, in my opinion. I'm not saying there's nothing bad with Impact, nothing at all, but it just makes no sense for that to happen. But I wouldn't mind it either way to see Kenny losing the belts little by little. And plus, we still got Saturdays. We still have Triple Mania. He loses the Triple A World Heavyweight title to El Ídolo Andrade. So that may happen as well. So what I agree 100%. And Dante, by the way, for all who are watching, go back and watch on AEW's Dark. Or I think it was Dark Elevation. Dante Martin versus Matt Sydal. That match was fucking insane. If you YouTube that match, that's why this kid has a lot of potential. And like how you said, Anthony, that hot tag, I loved it. I was like, wow, this kid, yeah. It's unfortunate for his partner, but it looks like we might see the route of him going on, singles competition it might, it may happen that way. So it is unfortunate. But all right. Now I want to move on now with the Matt Hardy compound against Orange Cassidy and Wheeler Yuta and Chubb Taylor. Great match. I did like it. Was a fun. I would say it was a fun match. Honestly, it was more of a fun and more like the fact that we see delete and delete and then put his head right in the pocket. I enjoyed that moment a lot. Then the aftermath, everybody expected Cassidy and Best Friends to win, but no, the Hardy compound stole this one for sure. I thought this feud was going to be over. Right? It was going to be done with, but I guess not yet. I mean, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's the future for both of these teams coming up. What new storylines is coming for them? So I'll take it back to you, Anthony. Your thoughts about that match?
I think my favorite thing in AEW right now is just the fact that they could come up with so many Orange Cassidy little like segments and matches. Like they'll never run out of them. And like this one with Matt Hardy was probably one of my favorites. It was so funny. Yeah, I mean, solid match. I think it definitely wasn't the best match. I think if anything, this was probably one of the more weaker matches on the card, but still a fun match. I love Wheeler Yuta. He's really grown on me ever since his match with he had some matches on Dark, and I know he had the match with Sammy Guevara at one of the most recent shows, and I heard something that like WWE passed up on him, and I'm just like, how could you pass up on someone like him that you could mold into something? Especially with this new direction that they're going in for NXT, which we'll talk about later. But he's a young guy. He's got a lot of potential to him. So at first putting him with the Best Friends was kind of a weird fitting for me, but now I'm kind of like it's kind of coming all together. It's still kind of weird because I expect to see Trent in that spot, not Wheeler Yuta, but Trent will come back eventually. Just a fun match. The best part of the Hardy little faction that they have is Helico, because all he does is just come out and do his little dance. And that's all I need to see. The dance and the theme song. Oh, fucking great. But in that same light, fuck Jack Evans, because he ruins that entrance every time. Because he thinks that people care about like his cartwheels. No one cares about the cartwheels. We care about little Angelico's like fucking jive thing. Besides the point, Matt Hardy's faction, I am still not used to. I think it's so weird that we have all these different tag teams coming together, which I kind of like. It's kind of like an Avengers type feel of misfit tag teams coming together. Right. So I thought the match was fun. I love the Best Friends. It was just a fun little match to kind of progress everything that's been going on with Matt. Also, I really like, I didn't like it at first because I was so used to the broken stuff, the broken gimmick, but Matt Hardy's been doing really good with this new, money Matt gimmick. Really ever since the Hangman Page storyline, I think I've really grown into a fan of this new gimmick for him. So yeah, just fun stuff overall.
Oh yeah. Money Mike.
Yes, definitely. I agree, especially the Helico Dance for sure. I saw it on TikTok in a wrestling unrelated way. Somebody had posted it. When I show up and my mom bought fried chicken or something like that. The dance I make, and so it's very very cool. And the group itself, the HFO, it's not a team that I would have predicted to come together, but at the end of the day, money talks, and Matt Hardy is the one with the deep pockets enough to bring this group together, right? So I guess that could be a narrative, or is the narrative in this group. I've been a fan of it, and Matt Hardy, props to him. He still does the V1 signal coming out to this. He melds all characters throughout his career and puts them all together, and does the delete thing, does V1, twist of fate, and all sorts of different things, and he makes it work. So definitely Matt Hardy is an awesome talent.
You know what?
Always has been.
You know what I just realized? You know, you guys both talking about how this group doesn't mesh, but I'm realizing something. I'm just like nitpicking here. I feel that this group came together for a reason. For Matt Hardy's previous attributes, the dancing on Helico and Jack Evans, the beginning of Hardy Boys, Jeff Hardy, Matt, right? You see Private Party. That's one of Mattitude version comes in with Shannon Moore having, his disciples there, following his Mattitude ways. Then obviously the broken version, but Blade and the Butch. There you go, on the disciples. So it kind of makes sense why these three came together with Matt. And I just thought about it once you guys mentioned it, I'm like, interesting. So just think about those three personas that Matt went through. I feel like that's probably what it is, why they put them together.
I mean, plus, it's always great that Matt is, in most people's eyes, a bona fide Hall of Famer. So you get that star power for three tag teams who wouldn't necessarily be in like the tag team title picture all the time. But now that you pair him with Matt Hardy, who has name value to him and is a WWE guy, he's someone that can bring up these teams. And for the most part, I think they're doing a really good job with that. Getting these guys on TV close to every week. So I think that's always a positive too.
Oh yeah, I agree. And now we see more about Helico and Jack Evans now more on Dynamite. We're used to seeing them more on Elevation or Dark, but not really on TNT as much. So I'm glad for that. I'm happy for them. They're getting their push, and that's the one thing I've been fighting, for quite some time. That, they, little by little, they'll start developing their talent, their roster to get that exposure. And this is, even though this is like, as you could say, not the right way according to some people, but I think this is the right way to pair them up with a veteran like Matt Hardy to get you that exposure. So most definitely, I agree 100% with that. And finally, we get a women's match, since Clark Street always argued that women's never get a shot at TNT Dynamite. So here we go, Chris Statlander versus Nyla Rose. This was a shocker. Did not expect Nyla. She's on a losing streak as of late. Something's going on here. I don't know what's happening with Nyla. Either she might take time off, or she's gonna maybe break up with Vicky Guerrero. I don't know what's going on with this, but I just want to give kudos to Statlander. Oh man, what a 450 splash, 451, how she calls it. But great upset. And I guess by the looks of it, how the commentating wise seems that she might be the next in line. Maybe an all out is what I'm hearing, rumor in your window against Britt Baker. So. Take it back to you, Anthony. Your thoughts?
Oh, dude, I would fucking love to see Chris Statlander in that spot. I know everyone's like talking about, Thunder Rosa is probably going to get the match because she's number one right now. We're still waiting for the rematch for the title and everything. But God, Chris Statlander is probably like one of my favorites in AEW right now. Just everything that she does. And this match with Nyla was just a perfect example of that. That little, I don't even know what it was, like a moonsault off the hardest part of the ring, I guess you can call it, that little moonsault thing, the 451 splash, even the power bomb. She had her up in the air for like a while. I was like, God damn. It was just, a really good match. And, kind of to go off of the whole Clark Street point of them not really putting the women on TV as much. I agree. I think that they don't, ever since Double or Nothing, I feel like they haven't done a good job of capitalizing off the momentum of Britt Baker winning the title. I think it's just from not really taking a lot of time to build up other challengers for Britt. You immediately pair her up with Nyla Rose, which I didn't think was a great call because we've seen Nyla already. Just little things like that have built up and not really put the women in a good position. But, these last few weeks, I feel like they've done a better job of not making the women's match feel like filler. And I felt like that, before the last few weeks, that it was just, very short matches. You would get like squash matches or, just stuff to say that the women were on the card. But, this week, obviously, really great match. And then we had the Britt Baker promo last week, even though it wasn't technically for an AEW, type of match, it was for the NWA, which was, kind of that Forbidden Door stuff, which makes it even more interesting to see that type of match. And you got Camille and all that stuff. And so, And, even the week before, and I'm jogging my memory now, Thunder Rosa with Julia Hart, even though it's not really a marquee match that they promoted, it's your top woman contender in Thunder Rosa going up against a new prospect like Julia Hart, who hasn't been getting as much TV time. So, they've been doing a lot to kind of put the women in a better position. And I think this is the perfect time to do so for All Out, because now we're in a spot where once was originally just, okay, it's immediately going to be Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa. Now they've built up Chris Statlander. So I'm like, now we have at least two contenders. And, Red Velvet's going to get the shot tomorrow and today, depending on when you're watching this. But, all this different stuff building up, it's making it a lot more interesting. So, and whenever Chris Statlander gets an opportunity at the title, I'm always happy. So, I'm looking forward to it. I hope she does get that match at All Out, or if they build it up, so be it. But yeah, as far as this match, great stuff. One of my favorite matches on this week.
Awesome. Money Mike.
It's time for my weekly AEW rankings mention. Yes. So in the rankings, Chris Statlander sits at number 2. Of course, Thunder Rosa, she's at number 1 with a great record, 22-2. My goodness, that's, pretty impressive. Clark Street, yes, come on, jump on the wagon here of the rankings, because I did mention before, and I think I mentioned it to Clark Street, that at the time, I believe Chris Statlander was 9-0, and I remember kind of predicting, hey, you know what? Maybe, yeah, she's at number 4 right now, and how is she, down there? But I kind of said they're keeping her there, so it could be a little, how can I say, not amplified that she's coming up. Meanwhile, Britt Baker has the rivalry with Nyla, and right now she had it with Red Velvet. So that's all going on. But believe me, I feel that right next week, I'm pretty sure, and I'm willing to bet $1 that they're going to $1, sure, I'll buy that for $1. That they are going to start building this program up, because she's undefeated. She is on a roll right now. She beat Nyla Rose, former champion, and yes, and Britt Baker is wide open right now. So why not? Why not make it happen at All Out? It's a perfect combination. Brought to you by the AEW Rankings.
Wait, I have a bit of a rebuttal, because I was on the side of Clark Street, so I feel like I have to defend them in this part. We won't go too off on the whole ranking debate, but like my whole thing with the ranking system, since we brought it up, is that I just don't like the idea that dark and elevation matches count for as much as a Dynamite or Rampage match does, because in the way I see it, dark and elevation are kind of, to me, what main event and superstars are to WWE. It's just another opportunity for them to get other guys on the show. Of course, 18 matches of dark, but regardless. But my whole thing is, maybe you could do something along the lines of doing it more based on a point system, where it's like, Dynamite and Rampage wins cost you 2 points. Dark and elevation is 1 point, because I just don't feel like it's on that same level, which kind of makes this whole ranking system, not worthless, because it's definitely not. But, you put those same level of Dynamite wins to dark wins, it's like your A and B show. It kind of just doesn't add up for me. But, still, you get all those matches, from even me. I saw what was Red Velvet, like 15-3 or something. She hasn't been on Dynamite in how long? I think the last time I saw her on Dynamite before this promo with Britt last week was the Jade match. Like, I couldn't tell you the last time that I saw her. So it's good that it's a way to build up talent quickly, but I just don't feel like they're doing it efficiently. I guess I feel like there's ways that they could go about it, but that's besides the point. I wanted to stick up for my Clark Street fellows over there. So that's all I had to say.
Now, may I?
Go for it, Mike.
You may.
Okay,
Why you do that?
I'll
I'm gonna get a beer. Go ahead, you guys do that.
I'll say this: that while to your point of how cool would it be if there was a point system added, I think it would be great. I think it would, pretty much bring up statistics a little bit more. The thing is, would the rules change? Because you're still having a match under the same exact rules. And why, if I had the exact same match that I could have had on Dynamite in Elevation, just because it's on a Monday and not a Wednesday, it's different percentage or different points. There is kind of a flaw in that sort of concept.
Yeah, no, that's definitely true. I think I see it more as like, you get wins against, guys who are not even signed to the company. How is that on the same level? You get a win against Fuego del Sol compared to getting a win against, a Jungle Boy or a Hangman Page. You know what I mean?
But hold on a second here. He is the master of the tornado DDT.
Okay, you got me there.
So, Miro's got his hands full on Wednesday.
Hey man,
or on Friday.
Tomorrow, yeah, we don't even have
tomorrow.
to wait for that match.
Yeah.
No, I definitely see what you're saying though. Yeah.
Yeah, for me, rankings. I'm a UFC guy, so I like the idea of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 because, and also, and I'll end it with this: that if you don't watch Elevation and Dark, and it doesn't exist. If the tree doesn't fall, then who really hears it, right?
Right.
Because there's no way of knowing, right? But yes, there is a way now, because the
to watch the show
counts.
Yeah.
You don't have to watch the show. You don't have to watch Elevation and Dark because the numbers are there.
Right.
And it's not like they just show up. Hey guys. You're next, and I got a title shot now. Yay, everybody! So no, you can't just show up and do that. You have to go through the matches, no matter if it's against Fuego del Sol, Luther. No offense to those guys, but you know what I'm saying. They have
definitely.
So
yeah, I mean, I feel like, and this will be my last point of like, in that case. I wish they would have done like, at least maybe like a video package kind of showing Red Velvet's, wins on Darks to kind of show what she's been doing. Because when she comes in and just says she's 15-3, I'm thinking, okay, against who? I haven't seen these wins. Let me see what she's done. Let me see her moveset. As a casual fan, you might be saying like, who is this? Let me see more of her. So I think that's where I love the ranking system, by the way. I think it's a great way to kind of bring up new contenders and kind of have a system. But, there's little tweaks that I would make, but at the same time, I'm all for it.
That is a great point, by the way. Recapping where you got those wins from. Okay, I'll let Ivan go back onto our regular scheduled program.
Yes,
we love it. By the way, that's a great point. That's a good. Hey, I like that. I do like that. And also,
thank you.
Red Velvet's last match was against Serena Deeb.
Oh, yeah.
That was the last one for the NWA title. So that was a great match, by the way. Yes. And then we do got, of course, the Good Brothers versus Dark Order, Evil Uno, and Stu Grayson. We did see little interference at the beginning of Brandon Cutler. And, of course, Frank Kazarian and Colt Cabana. And then we see Christian taking Cutler. I did love that how Cutler was just like going, he looks, oh my God. But I like the fact that we finally get to see more of Evil Uno and Stu Grayson. We haven't seen them in quite some time. We've seen them more. We see more Alex Reynolds and
John Silver.
Thing. But we really haven't seen, the originators of, Dark Order. When it was for an AEW ready to start. And so now we finally get to see them, and I did like the match. I wish they could have got a little bit more time. I think an extra 5 minutes could have been more we would have been more anticipated, like, oh my God, are they going to win it? And then, but, things happen. But I like it, though. I'm hoping that we get to see more of, Evil Uno and, Stu Grayson. Hopefully in the title picture for AEW's tag team titles. And hopefully, I know they lost it, but you know how Anthony said once Hangman comes back from maternity leave, not him, but his the missus, then we able to get that get that in fruition. Hopefully, you never know. So I'll take it back to you, Anthony. Your thoughts about that match?
Oh man, when I heard that we were gonna get Grayson and Uno in this spot, I was like, it was like a breath of fresh air because it was like, seeing Silver and Reynolds is always great. I think they're like the underdog team kind of, but like, you forget how in sync Grayson and Uno are. And this was a team who I did not like at the beginning of the Dark Order. Like they did the fucking human throne. I was like, what is this shit? And then like, they just kept going on in the ring. And I think this past week was just like a perfect example of like how just in tune they are with each other. Be it that they've wrestled on the indies together for how long, but but yeah, I mean, kind of to your point, I feel like they didn't even need 5 extra minutes just because of how much they were able to fill in however long they had in that match. Because they got a lot of offense in of just tag team move after tag team move.
Yeah.
It was really good. And I feel like just the pacing of the match overall was good because they are a very fast, like I said, in sync, in tune tag team. But then you have Gallows and Anderson who kind of like cheat their way to slow it down a little bit. So I feel like that was a really good pacing of the match as well. Just everything was really great about this match. I was kind of expecting them to take the titles up until, I was expecting them to take the titles just to do a little twist until Christian said that he was fighting for the Impact title, because I was like, no way they're going to give 2 AEW guys 2 titles in Impact. It's just not going to happen. So at that point, I was kind of like, all right, they're going to give it to the Good Brothers, whatever. But still a really good match. The Brandon Cutler stuff is always really funny. I wonder where they're going with this whole Kazarian thing, because he keeps coming out. He keeps attacking the Elite. I wonder what's going to come about. Like, are we going to get a Kazarian Omega match? Are we going to get something like that? Like, I couldn't tell you, but I like that they have a spot for Kazarian. And I like that they're, putting him on TV a lot because he's great. He's always great. And the tag team match, yeah, just fun stuff overall. And like you said, I really do hope we see Uno and Grayson more often. I would love to see, I know a lot of people said that they want to see Silver and Reynolds go for the tag titles. I want to see Grayson and Uno go for the titles. They deserve it. They were the first 2 guys in the Dark Order. Might as well. They would have a great match with the Young Bucks on a big stage. Hell, maybe do it at All Out. Who knows? Yeah, so that's my little talk about the tag team match.
I love that. I love it. He's already booking already a spoiler right there. It might happen. You might see that Dark Order versus the Young Bucks, since they don't have no challengers at All Out. So I like it. Love it. What do you, Mike?
Yeah. I've like Anthony has been saying that they have focused more on Silver and Reynolds. So to me, I have not seen the others. I haven't seen Grayson and Uno much, especially as a tag team. But the times that I've seen both of these guys, man, it's great. The chemistry, awesome. I particularly enjoy the "Get Over Here" spot. I always enjoy that as a Mortal Kombat guy. So a big stage, I feel, would definitely be fitting. All Out is coming up, and you know what? There's a lot of back and forth between the Elite and the Dark Order because of Hangman. And them going up against the Bucks in honor of Hangman not being there. So I think that's a storyline that, it writes itself. Make it happen, Tony. I know you're watching the show, so come on, let's do it.
That's right. Make it happen. I'm with you. Both of you guys absolutely agreed, man. And I hope that match happens at All Out. See Evo Uno and Stu Grayson versus the Young Bucks. Why the hell not? But then again, how about we save them when Adam gets his shot and he finally wins it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let them win it alongside with Adam. Unless they want to do that for, unless they want to do it for Silver and Reynolds. But I prefer more, Uno and Grayson better. I agree with that 100% with what you both guys said. So, but we'll have to see. We'll have to wait to see the outcome of it and tune in until next week, because I mean, All Out is like that, about 2 weeks away, right? Like 2.5 weeks, I believe so.
Yeah, just about. Very close. Very,
Yeah.
very close.
So much shit, so much good shit. Except Papa Vinny. Sorry. We'll talk about you later. And of course, we did see this little segment, of course, the factory. The factory. Yeah, that's how I feel about it. Like, for God's sakes, man. No wonder I'm gonna get heated for this shit. No wonder why Betty fucking dumped her man. Yeah, sorry, Solo. And you take out the W to put like Han Solo. What's up with that? Like, what the fuck? Like, no, you're not. We get it that you're solo now. You're single. You're ready to mingle. But this type of way, I'm sorry, you're getting your ass whipped by Paul White. It's not gonna happen, buddy. This is why, Bailey called it off. She was done. But hey, at least you got signed AEW, bro. So at least you got a nice contract. Just don't be expecting budget cuts coming soon for them, like in 3 years, and then you're one of them. I hate to say that, but it was great to see Paul White. It was great to see him. Did not expect that. I still wonder if it is Tony Schiavone's son, because it doesn't look like him. I don't know why. It does not look like him at all, but I don't think it was his son. But now we're gonna see, I guess, an upcoming feud for QT Marshall. Paul White, QT Marshall. No disrespect to Paul White. Just book it on a Rampage show, not an All Out. Don't do it. Not worth the time. Don't do it. So take it back to you, Anthony.
Because Tony Khan is watching this, I have a quick message. Tony Khan, signing QT Marshall to an AEW contract. All I have to say is, why would you do that? Oh man, I cannot believe how fucking boring QT Marshall is. I got heat because I've been doing a lot with Turnbuckle Tavern, and I was in the comments for their Dynamite show, and I was giving this AEW Dynamite a perfect score until QT Marshall showed up, and then they were like, how could you shit on QT Marshall? The only reason why you don't like him, he's doing his job as a heel, so he's very good. I'm like, but he's boring. I don't care about QT Marshall. He comes out and it's just, he starts talking on the mic. Well, I was going to give my announcement last week, but Tony Schiavone, you got it wrong because I'm going to give it this week. Who cares? Who cares about QT? I didn't care about him when he started the Nightmare Factory. I didn't care about him when he was with Dustin Rhodes. I didn't care about him with the feud with Cody. He could bring, I think the only positive of that group is a go-go. He's the only guy that I like. I don't like QT. I don't like Solo. I don't even like the other guy with the beard. I don't even know. Camarado. He looks like a deer in headlights every time he comes out there. I don't like him, to be completely honest with you. But, Paul White fucking saved this segment. Like, it felt like a stone cold pop was running through my head when I heard Paul White come out, because I was like, thank you, Lord. I don't have to hear about a QT and Tony Schiavone's fake son anymore. It was a good save. I'm actually happy that we're getting Paul White in a match. Probably going to get it for next week's Rampage because, like you said, I don't think we're going to get it all out. It's just not enough of a big match. Plus, we don't need QT Marshall all out. Like we're gonna have CM Punk there. We don't need QT Marshall kind of bringing the momentum down. So put it all out next week. Get Paul White a win, and up until the Paul White segment, I would say that this was the worst part of the show. But him coming out, him doing the choke slam, it was okay. I would give it like a 4 out of 10 rating. Just because the second half was better. But I take off one more point because it's fucking QT Marshall. And that's all I have to say. Money might go in.
I mean, it was one of those things that just kind of came out of nowhere. What I love about AEW is that they announce pretty much segment by segment what's going to happen throughout the episode, even from last week. They don't say, "Oh, and we're gonna hear an announcement from QT Marshall next week. Tune in," because nobody's gonna tune into that. Sorry, QT and you and the Cutie Pies. It's just not
The Cutie
no.
Pies.
I can't take this guy as a threat.
No.
In especially not to Paul White, which, by the way, it was cool to see Paul White in the ring, and for him, being in WWE and having turn after turn after turn after turn, I feel like AEW is a refreshing kind of change of pace, or can be if done right, for his character, right? So it could be an actual new beginning for him and what he can do. I do not mind All Out if it's in the buy-in. If they put him in the buy-in, I'm cool with it. Even if it is maybe not against QT, but where's Ogogo? I haven't seen him since Double or Nothing.
Nobody knows.
I think he's injured. I think
really?
he had some type of injury, but the whole thing with the nightmare factor, the Cutie Pies, as I'll call them from now on, is that like you had such a good formula in QT as your head, who no one takes seriously, but now you have guys like Ogogo and Nick Camarado, who are big guys you could take seriously. But the thing is, they keep losing. So how are you going to take any of them seriously? Nick Camarado loses to Dustin Rhodes in a bull rope match or whatever match they had. Ogogo loses one of his first matches to Cody. I mean, how could I take this group seriously? And this even makes QT look even worse if I can't even take your two guys who you're supposed to be building up seriously. And then Aaron Solo, he's there too with his blue hair. But that's my whole thing with this group, is that I can't take them as a serious threat. They're as bad as Retribution, if you ask me.
Oh my God.
I thought it, but he said it.
We keep it real.
Great minds think alike. That's what I can say. Great minds think alike.
Yeah, I'll say it. I mean, we keep it real here. I mean, they're just not booking them right. And it's a shame, because Ogogo, Nick Camarado has a great look. Aaron Solo's there with his blue hair. They're all interesting, but what are you gonna do?
Yeah, it's yeah. I ain't gonna waste my breath on that segment. It is what it is. That's all I can say about it for the Cutie Pies. And now, of course, we did have the main event of the evening, the fourth and then final labor for the Gajot Jericho, the demo god himself, defeating Wardlow. Of course, thanks to Ref Audrey, kind of stopped the interference, caught MJF, won with the Judas effect. Over, and now we get the aftermath. They attacked Jericho. Sammy comes out trying to make the save, but the pinnacle came out and just destroyed both of them. Then Hager came out to make the save, and now we're seeing that on, I believe it's booked for next week. That's what they mentioned. That is going to be Jericho MJF, but the stipulation, he cannot use the Judas effect. What are we going to see that he's going to be using? Is he going to go back to vintage WWE? He's not the code breaker. He already been using it. What about the other one? The one that, what did he call it? Now the Miz uses it. What the Skull Crushing Finale?
Skull Crushing Finale.
Yeah. You remember when Jericho started doing that first? Jericho started doing it in the beginning, during the WCW time when they came to WWE, the invasion part. They started doing that. What about he started using that? Who knows? I have no idea what's Jericho's, what he has up to sleeve. We have to wait and see. So, the Prodigy podcast. Your thoughts about it?
The Prodigy himself. First of all, let me just get this out of the way. Wardlow, cut your hair. It's enough with this little ponytail that he has going on. Just cut it off. Anyways, moving on to more important matters. If you asked me at the beginning of this Jericho Labors thing what the end goal was, I thought this was a retirement tour, kind of like Jericho's greatest hits. That was up until the fourth labor, where I was kind of like, they might just be pulling out all the stops for him because they announced him for the Rampage commentary team. He's got his Fozzy tours that he has to be on. So I was figuring like, he did everything he really could for AEW. He's put over young stars. He won the title. What else is there really to do? So that was up until they announced Wardlow, because I figured, they wouldn't really kind of end it on this note. As far as the match goes, what my point was now is that I don't know what the end goal now is. Is it just a final Jericho MJF match? Is there going to be like something at stake? It's just now MJF told him he can't use the Judas effect. He can't come out to his song. And now it's just, what happens if he wins? Is it just bragging rights? Like it feels kind of flat. And I feel like if we were to do this match, maybe all out, now at least there's something to look forward to. But I don't know. I wasn't really feeling it. Match itself, though, was good. Really good showcase for Wardlow. I like pop every time I see him going for that the move where he puts his opponent in the corner and he just does that huge knee to him. Like he put Jericho up for it. I was like, no way, he's gonna do it to Jericho. What? No way. But he didn't do it, which sucked. But still good showcase for him. This whole Labors thing has just been like a weird, it's just a whole weird storyline. I feel like this was Jericho's idea. I feel like this is a weird enough story that this was definitely all, like even the name of it, like the 5 labors of Jericho, it just screams his idea for some reason. But now that we're on the last one going into MJF, I feel like they could have done a few things better with this whole thing, maybe reorganize the labors so that you had, Nick Gage more in a prominent role. I feel like putting him second was weird. And then having Juventud after him. I'm getting off topic, but, this whole thing has kind of just been a strange way to lead up to this Jericho MJF match. And without a true stipulation to it, as far as, like where we go from here, it's just another match. If it is what it is. I would, like I said, I would have rather at least seen this at the pay-per-view, so it's at least a pay-per-view match. But if we're just going to get this on Dynamite, then there's no real interest for me.
Interesting. The By God podcast.
I agree. Definitely. It almost feels like MJF, you're doing it wrong, man. You booked it backwards. I think Gage should have been last. If you play Mortal Kombat, you start off, at the bottom, and then you end up at Goro and Shang Tsung at the end, right? It gets supposed to get more difficult the more you go up. It just the order of the matches. Maybe it was availability or other bookings that Gage and Juventud had. I remember getting hyped when Nick Gage was announced, right? And it was the talk of the town, I feel, in wrestling. And people were like, oh man, what's going to happen? If this is now, what's going to happen in 4 or, in the third one? And, no offense to Wardlow, but I really don't think he should have even been a labor. It just my opinion, folks. I know you guys are Wardlow fans, and I am too, really, but I think someone more like, I can't think of anybody at this point, but someone maybe even like a Lance Storm, just throwing that out there.
Everybody wanted Lance Storm, by the way.
Yes.
Everybody thought it was going to be Lance Storm, and that would have been dope as hell, honestly.
Yeah.
I would have enjoyed seeing Lance Storm.
Someone like that, it would be definitely a surprise. But yeah, I really expected this to be announced for All Out. When he said Dynamite, or when I think the commentator said next week, I was like, wait, what? Really? You're like, yeah, I don't know. It kind of devalues the specialness, right, of the match. So either it's not going to happen on Dynamite for whatever reason, Jericho gets attacked or something, it doesn't happen, and then it's moved to All Out, or it happens now and for whatever reason it gets they're 1-1, or I think, And then the third one is at All Out. So
Yeah,
we'll see.
that's the way to see. And I like that analogy, like in Mortal Kombat. I can say that Warlow, yeah, it's like more like your Goro. Like there you go. And then you get to, to your Shang Tsung or
You
to
get to Shang Tsung, yes.
yeah, there you go.
Or to Shao Kahn,
Shao
right?
Kahn, yeah,
Tony Khan.
I love it. Hell yeah, I love that. Oh yeah, most definitely. And now we're gonna see coming up later today, ladies and gentlemen, a Rampage 1 hour show, 3 matches by far announced. We already gave our predictions for the main event. I believe it's gonna be the main event. Kenny Omega versus Christian for the Impact title.
Actually, Britt Baker is going to be in the main event. I think they're starting the show with Kenny.
Okay,
because they're in Britsburg, baby. Britsburg.
Oh, that's right. You're absolutely right about that. Totally forgot about that. And then we do have Miro versus El Fuego del Sol, which I'm still ready for him to get a damn contract. Damn it, he deserves one. For God's sakes, give that man a contract. He needs to have one. He got popular with the fans. I got to give it to Sammy. And plus Fuego, I've seen his work. In the independent circuit, he's phenomenal. He's great. He's a great athlete. But I think with the vlog, helped him expose more his charisma, and he could talk, and he could be funny as hell. He's like I hate to compare him to this person, but not typically. I would go charisma wise, like Santino, but charisma, not in the ring. Just I'm talking about charisma stuff, character basis. But yeah, I think Fuego should get a contract, and I hope that Fuego puts up a hell of a match, like at least to make it worth our time to be like, yes, we're all cheering for Fuego. Imagine, like how that's why I'm picturing Santino, like when the Royal Rumble moment that he thought he won the first ever 40-man Royal Rumble. But the Elimination Chamber that he had, it was him and Daniel Bryan. Like, oh shit, is he really gonna win? Shit like that. That's what I want to see. This match on Rampage with Fuego. I definitely want to see that, and I'll be tuning in for sure. And then of course we got Britsburg, Britt Baker, Red Velvet. We did see that segment happen on Dynamite. She's gonna get booed the hell out of them, and I feel bad for her that she's getting this shot at the wrong town, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man, I think they should have put someone else instead of her.
They should have put Nyla in this spot. I feel like they should have swapped it. Have Red Velvet be your first opponent for Britt, and then have Nyla in the spot, because whoever you put up against Britt was going to get booed.
Yeah.
So you might as well let it be a heel so that you don't stunt the momentum of a face.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, exactly. So, and it's only 1 hour. I'm excited to see how this 1 hour will transition. I mean, Tony Khan did say it's going to do great. Every people are looking forward to it. He's really gonna take this 1 hour show and to the next level, according to him. So I don't know what is your expectations, Anthony, for Rampage and the future of Rampage in 1 hour.
Yeah, man. I mean, as far as the matches, like the predictions, we already said Christian, we think is going to win. As far as the other champions, I don't think either of them are going to lose their belts. I'm really looking forward to this Fuego match. Besides the fact that I think it's going to be funny. But I've really followed Fuego since, and this is like going to sound strange, and maybe you guys don't even know, but he actually did a backyard wrestling federation, a trampoline wrestling federation with him and just a bunch of his friends, and his wrestling name was Cage. I think it was like Mr. Better Than You or something. And I would watch those videos growing up, and it was just like, and I wanted to go out and buy a trampoline and start doing that. Of course, my backyard is small as shit, so that would never work out. But it was great to see stuff like Fuego doing it on just like jumping off of like tall ladders onto a trampoline. It was like amazing. So when I saw him get the contract, because I knew once he stopped doing that trampoline stuff, he started actually wrestling on the indies, and he was going by Fuego. And then once I saw him in AEW, I was like, is that the same Fuego who was jumping on trampolines like when I was growing up? This is incredible. So it was, I'm really looking forward to it in that reason, because I do feel like this is going to be the match that gets him the contract. Be it if they do it in a story or whatever. I feel like he's going to, if he hasn't already gotten the contract, like behind the scenes, I feel like they wouldn't be touring with him if he didn't. But, you know, I'm really looking forward just to see him get the spot. You know, my big prediction, if I can give a big prediction on this show, is that, you know, everyone's talking about next week, the first dance, you know, we're going to have someone big. I'm going to call it right now. I think we see CM Punk tomorrow. Because look at it this way. You bring him out after the Christian match. Christian wins the title. The Elite, you know, beat down Kenny. Punk comes out, makes the save. Punk talks on Dynamite, you know, just giving his reasons why he's in AEW, whatever, which leads up to the first match of CM Punk, which will be at the first dance. First match, first dance, you know, next week on the 20th. I would kind of rather just see it be Punk debuting at the show, because that's kind of how it's leading up to. But, you know, I have that feeling of just, you know, everyone's expecting him to be at the show. They might go and just do a swerve and have him come out next week, so that really sells out the United Center if they haven't already sold out to begin with. But yeah, that's if I could bring out a big prediction on the Circle of Debate, that's my prediction, and I'm going to stick to it for tomorrow.
Wow, what a hell of a bold prediction! I love it. Shit, that's good shit. Good fucking shit. What do you Mike?
Right? Yes.
Oh my god.
You know what to do, Tony. Make it happen. Yeah, that'd be fun, man. That unexpected, because it seems that it's a given almost that he's gonna be at the United Center. Rampage, you know, yay, CM Punk is here. Wow. It's almost, you know, I what I like about AEW is that it's been less predictable than WWE. Hopefully that something like that happens, right? But that's not to take away anything from this Rampage show already. I'm looking forward to it as is, right? Let's see. Christian Cage, you know, we did mention that I, you know, do believe that he's going to win the Impact title. Fuego del Sol, yes, master of the Tornado DDT. Nobody does it better. I don't care. Nobody. Yeah, it'll be fun to see him in such a position. And we saw Miro and Lee Johnson the other day, and I was surprised of how much offense Lee Johnson was able to get. Mm-hmm. Will the same happen with Fuego? We'll see, right? I certainly would like a similar amount of offense on the side of Fuego.
But think about this, though. If Fuego beats Miro, unexpected. I'm just saying.
It would be 1, 2, 3 kid level.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Of surprise there, of shock.
I will lose my mind.
Unbelievable.
Oh my! So just think about the crowd's reaction, and oh my god, I think the whole block crew will come out and holy shit.
Well, here's the thing: they announced the stipulation for the match is that if Fuego wins, he gets a contract with the company. So I mean, they could do it. I wouldn't put it past them to just flash pinfall, and even if he gets it, like, you know, back on Dynamite, like just a quick little win for him. Yeah, fuck it. Right? Just give him the title for a day. Why not?
Why not? Give her to
Fuego del Sol, TNT champion, man.
Hey, the crowd will go crazy, and that's what a better way to do that. And I think oh my god, hell yeah!
I would like to see the crowd reactions. And how similar they would be to the street being broken or something, you know?
Oh yeah.
So there's that, and of course the main event: Britt Baker in Britsburg.
Oh yeah,
defending her title, and man, yes, Red Velvet. If had it been in any other town, you know, it would be a different atmosphere. But she's in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So yeah, I can't wait. I want it to be showtime already.
Oh yeah, I mean, I cannot wait. And this is gonna happen after SmackDown, right? Based on how they're doing it on the So I'm interested to see how the viewership is for that and how it will develop for 1 hour show moving forward. People criticize that it's not going to do great, but I have a feeling it might do great. I mean, right now there's no playoffs, there's no finals, there's really nothing in other sports on Fridays. Just only baseball as we speak right now, but I'm not hating on baseball, but I'm just saying who really kind of watches it. I mean, it depends, you know. That's if it's playoff time, but it's different. So they might do good. I will be surprised if their viewership is close to what Dynamite does. Dynamite recently has done like 1.1, I mean 1.0. They didn't do good. I mean, they were what 979. So if they can reach that level, that'll be some shit. I will be wow.
Next week you can expect. I mean, you might as well call it. I think they're going to have better numbers than they've been having for Dynamite for next week. With the first dance and everything.
Yeah.
If they've been hyping it up as much as they have been, I don't see why they wouldn't at least get a 1.1 or maybe even like 1.2, 1.3.
Yeah. Could be like probably like in the top 5 demographics just for that 1 hour.
Yeah.
It could happen too. I mean, that'll be some shit if they do. So, and speaking of demographics, we're going to have another one announcement. The roads to the top coming to you on September 29th. I'm looking forward to seeing that. First ever reality show for AEW. Of course, Cody Rhodes. I mentioned this before. He already's been through that. He knows how to. He's been working with stars. He's been a star himself when he was in WWE. So I'm looking forward to seeing this show. I hope it's not too dramatic, but I'm assuming it will be. I'm not, but I'm looking forward when we finally get to see more behind the scenes of AEW. So I don't know if you're looking forward to seeing that, Anthony, the road to the top.
No, I think I'll take
anybody
the road.
but Cody.
Anyone but Cody. I'm on the Jofo bandwagon there. Anyone but Cody. I'll be on the roads to my bed whenever that's on, and not be watching that. This is like, of course it's Cody. Like, of course he's the one that gets the show back. I mean, I guess who else? Anyone but Cody. But who else would it be? As far as someone who they could put in that spot. Good for him. I guess it's always good publicity to get another show for AEW, but this is to me like what Total Divas is to WWE. It's like it's there. It's great that we get some backstage, but like maybe I'll watch it once and then I'll realize that I'm watching Cody and Brandy for an hour, and then I'll say that is enough. That is enough for me. But yes, anyone but Cody, I'll probably tune in once, and that'll be enough for me.
Money Mike.
You know what? I'll say this. I watch Ms. and Mrs.
Wow. Honestly, Ms. and Mrs. isn't that bad. I watch because Miz is funny. Like Miz is really what he is on TV is what he is in person. And Maurice is always great to watch as well.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Two thumbs up.
Two thumbs up on that. Two thumbs
up. And Mrs. Dad. I feel Mrs. Dad provides a lot of the comical stuff there. But as far as this one, Roads to the Top, it's called, right? I don't expect it to be so dramatic as Total Divas or Bellas or whatever, given that they're already married and they have a child. So a lot of the drama, the relationship drama, I don't think is there, right? Because they're already married. So I would like to see it more on the Ms. and Mrs. side of comedy and stuff, and television. I will be watching, and honestly, I'll predict it here. I predict that I will watch the entire season, given that my girlfriend is into that sort of thing, and why not? So it makes for a good movie night, or
Yeah. I mean, the missus did she did enjoy Total Divas. So I actually sat there and watched it. But I get questioned. So this is what you watch. I'm like, what do you mean? I like wrestling. Fuck, I hate being questioned.
Well, Mike, you actually bring up a really good point in that, like, I don't think we'll get like the sappy kind of relationship vibe on the show. Instead, I think it's kind of good that we'll focus more on like the backstage of wrestling in the show, because what could you really talk about with Cody and Brandy? I guess besides them like having the kid, I think you can really focus more on the pro wrestling and like being at the forefront of the company. So I think that's an interesting angle. That makes me a little bit more interested in it, but still, anyone but Cody.
Hey, hashtag anybody but Cody, ladies and gentlemen. Hashtag that. We don't want to see him anymore. Take a break, Cody. Just go away, focus on the show, and let Malachi take the other shoe.
Take your other boot off. Yeah, exactly.
That's it. And just take off for quite some time. Have Dustin fight him. I don't care. Have your whole Nightmare family fight him. That's it. I don't care. Just go away. Go away.
Even QT, you would want to put that on us? Come on now.
No, not QT.
Not the whole Nightmare family.
No, not the whole Nightmare family. Except for the Factory. No, not the Factory. Yes. The Nightmare family. That's fine. Not the Factory. And of course, the last one of AEW news is just Matt Caster. 2-month suspension. Went through the same thing when Sammy went through with the whole, little debacle. Or we can't call it debacle. My apologies, but that tweet that happened years ago that came back to him, bite him in the ass. This one did bite him in the ass, and I mean, it was for me. It's the best way. Keep it low. Right now that we just finished off the Olympics, lay low for a bit. They'll let it bygones be bygones. You'll come back. You'll be fine. So it was a bad one on his part. Right now, how the social media world is, it's just very sensitive. So it's really difficult to even say stuff like that. Even though us, as much, speaking for us, we know, what he meant to say, but it wasn't like that, pun intended, of what he was trying to say. But certain individuals take it really offensive. So do you agree with a 2-month suspension?
Yeah. No, I definitely do. Look, I won't get too much into it because it's kind of a controversial topic depending on who you talk to about it.
Yeah.
But my whole thing is that, well, one, he was definitely wrong for saying it. And honestly, with the viewership that Dark gets and Elevation gets, I wouldn't be surprised if he said this more in the past and it's kind of just flew under the radar. Because most of the stuff that he says, it does get trending or whatever, but he does a lot of that stuff with Julia Hart, that he says all that stuff, which, like you said, it's funny to us because we don't really get offended. I wasn't offended, personally by what he said, but like you also said, it's just the age that we're in now that it's kind of you have to read the room. It's no other way around it. People deal with mental health. People deal, with the other stuff that he's talked about. Yeah. You have to be aware of that, and you can't step over that line. And I think he just stepped way over that line. But also on the flip side, I hope not just Max Caster is suspended or however he's going to. I think he's supposed to take some type of
the same thing was Sammy took that
right
sensitivity class.
Sensitivity class, yes. Yeah. I hope the production team, whoever let that go, the editors, whoever, if they're not at least fired by this point, I think they need some type of punishment, because how could you let that go through on a pre-taped show, which, by the way, I'll bring up that it was recorded at Fight for the Fallen, which is a show dedicated as kind of a charity event for, I believe they donated over $100,000 to sexual abuse and domestic abuse victims.
Oh, yeah.
So to say that stuff on that show just makes it 10 times worse. Like I said, I don't want to go too much into it, but I think it was warranted. He'll take his 2 months. Honestly, I would take the mic away from him for a while and, kind of also kind of just like a test to see if he can truly, keep up with not just relying on these controversial raps that, sure, it gets him trending, but, the whole point of being Dark and Elevation is to improve. It's not to improve your raps. It's to improve in the ring. So I would take the mic away from him once he gets back and focus in on trying to get over in the ring. That's my whole thing. I think it was warranted. And I really just hope that the production team or whoever let it through gets some type of punishment as well.
Yeah, QT. Should have given your punishment, asshole. Should have been you. Should have been you, QT. Damn it. Buddy Mike.
Yeah, it's, you know what? Anthony brings a great point. One that I actually forgot about, that, you know, though the show is recorded days ahead of time. You know, it's not like in WWE where they got like 5-second delay or something. No, this was days ahead of time. And man, you know, he doesn't need this. He doesn't need to push the boundaries as much as he's been doing. And honestly, in my mind, I was like, you know what? One of these days, this guy's gonna say something. He's gonna get in trouble. I've been saying that for months.
You have been saying that.
And you know what? It happened. It happened, and right now, it's costing him 2 months without pay and the sensitivity class. And you know, he doesn't need to push the boundaries. There's ways to be clever and to insult your opponent, roast your opponent without bringing out current events or outside world stuff. You know, John Cena did it, and you know that led him to getting over. Max Caster was getting over. I particularly enjoyed his raps. You know, not necessarily this one, but definitely he has to be more sensitive to other people's, you know, feelings.
Yeah.
You know, and I saw how Julia Hart reacted to his line, and I honestly feel that she legitimately did not like that or did not appreciate that. And who would really, you know?
Yeah.
But really, it's just a matter of filtering what could really hurt somebody else, and going around it. And the art of it is not stepping over the line. I think someone that is able to do it in a much more in a better way, for lack of a better term.
I would say more like a goofy way, but not to the extent that I kind of like bullying style.
Right.
That could be, you know, like Cena did it, but you see how Cena got over it because, you know, he did it through goofy shit. But the goofy shit that he did was, you know, like how he did with Big Show, with Kurt Angle. You know, he's done and it fit, but he only mentioned them, not pop culture.
But also, Cena did it in a different time.
Yeah.
I swear,
Agreed.
if Cena said a lot of that stuff, you know, everything with Stephanie, you know, if he said that stuff in this age, that probably wouldn't go over well.
Oh,
either.
yeah. Oh, no, I definitely agree with that.
So, I mean, it's just about kind of just understanding that, sure, not everyone's going to get offended for every little thing that you say, but, you know, was the lines to Christian about, you know, not having an edge or whatever, was that not enough? You had to really like cross over that line. You know, that's kind of just my thought process.
No, I'm with you on that. I'm not disagreeing at all. Yeah, it's just that, like, you know, he should have gotten a better understanding that the pop culture at this moment, it's way different. And I think he should have been aware of that. Especially a lot of the talents don't really speak their mind too much freely on the social media world because they know one little thing you say, it goes everywhere. And then like, yeah, although he said this, he said that. But yeah. So you gotta be careful nowadays. But then, yeah, he definitely messed up on that one. And yeah, he needs that to lay low for a while. Maybe with the mic, how you said it, maybe take away the mic from him. Maybe a couple. I don't know. We'll have to wait to see when it comes back and let's see how it shifts. But the only thing I did enjoy was the one from Eddie Kingston. I thought like a pack of, you know, like what do you say? Like a pack
that
of
was
smokes,
a good. Yeah,
pack of
that was a good one.
Newports. I did enjoy that. Yeah. Like, you see, that's like cool. You're attacking the old school pop culture that we as TV 14 and above audiences understands because we were from that era. Mm-hmm. Now you're attacking the current one. That's where you're like, yeah, you're fucking up. So you gotta be careful. Right.
Mike, you looked like you wanted to say something. What were you gonna?
Oh yeah, I trailed off, but because I was going to say something along the lines of, I would like to see a storyline where he comes back and, you know, the Acclaim and this and that, yo, and he's about to deliver his rap, but when he's about to, they turn off his mic. and it happens a few times upon his comeback, and who's doing that, and it turns out to be somebody else in the locker room and leads it to a feud. I think that could be something fun to do.
I would like that.
And,
Yeah. Plus, that also, does the whole thing of like, taking him off the mic. At least it gives you a story to keep him going a little bit. So it's kind of a punishment, but also a storyline. I like that a lot. I do like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Now let's jump on to the pro wrestling news that we would want to talk about because we haven't really talked about it at all. Of course, we heard it from our other fellow podcasters from the League of Restorative Podcasters giving their thoughts about these NXT releases that happened this week ago, this past Friday, unexpected during the SmackDown show. And I lost my mind when we are in a group message. I'm like, what? And I'm at work at my other job. What the fuck just happened? Bronson Reed, Jake Atlas, Mercedes Martinez, Bobby Fish, Tyler Rust. I mean, the list, it goes on. But Bronson was a shocker to me. Bobby, shocker as well. Tyler Rust, these names that I mentioned were a shocker because they were on television not that long ago. Now with all the reports that have happened, Mania happened, Vince pretty much went to the Capitol Wrestling Center, check out the product, check the talent, alongside with Bruce Pritchard and John Laurinaitis. They went to go check to see who fits, who doesn't. I guess rumor your window, we're not here to confirm, we're just hearing from all the reports that the fact that Vince wants to go back to the old school style, like how he had the OVW days, FCW days, developmental, and developing younger talent under 30. And that's just what threw me off, that he's looking for big and not really small, but something in between, and doing developmental. Paul Levesque and Mr. Hickenbottom and William Regal, none of them had nothing to do with this. They had to cringe and see this happen. And I know they felt bad because this is their baby, this is mainly Paul Levesque's baby, what he's done, what he's developed NXT for so many years. Thought it was going to be his own brand to be the next Ring of Honor competition, or maybe an MLW or anything else. But unfortunately, this occurred. Now, but Vince went there for the first time. And it reminds something that Jim Cornette made a comment, so I'll give you guys a heads up as well. And it's very interesting. Vince McMahon never stepped foot on an OVW facility. Only Laurinaitis and Bruce Pritchard and JR. And think about this. If that was McMahon's mentality and would have gone to OVW, there would have been a Dave Bautista. Maybe not even a Randy Orton or Shelton Benjamin. Heck, maybe not even a Brock Lesnar.
Not even John Cena.
Exactly. None of this. But because of JR, because he trusted JR, he's his right-hand man during that time. Right? Obviously, JR's not here now. But I was assuming that he could trust Paul Levesque. Okay, you got him. You're doing such a phenomenal job. But I guess not. Something's going on here. Everybody's blaming Nick Khan. I can't really say that he has something to do with it. But this is, for me, it's weird that all this is coming into place. And if I'm going to say this right now as a fan, Vince, fuck you if you're going to make NXT as developmental, because that's bullshit. You're just mad that their takeovers have been better than your fucking SummerSlams, than your fucking bragging rights, than your fucking other Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. You're just mad that NXT has done better than your main roster product. You're just mad about that. You jealous piece of shit. I just want to say that. Like you're fucking this shit up just for your own ego, which is why you fucking fuck up Karrion Kross for him to lose fucking on Raw twice in a row and make NXT look like shit. Fuck you, Vince. And who had Bruce Pritchard, I used to love you. But guess what? I don't love you anymore. So fuck you, Double Two. And hey, Joe Lorenz, fuck you, another one too, for bringing him back. Why would you bring this? You're out of touch. Go home. We've been saying it for so many fucking years. Go home. Let Paul Levesque run the show. Stay home, Vince. Collect your money and collect your paycheck. Stop fucking with people's lives. And this is what you did. You fucked with people's lives. You could have done something with Jake, Mercedes, Bronson, who we thought was going to go to the main roster. And you did not do that. You did not do that at all. You fucked him over. And Bobby Fish, too. Okay, why did you bring up the Undisputed Era in the first place? Why did you do that? I mean, I'm speaking as a fact. But now as a business-wise, budget cuts are coming, I guess. It's leaning more looking like he's going to sell this shit. I don't know what it is. That's how it's part of the nature of the business, right? I have to respect that. We're all numbers for our employers. But it's just, I don't know. It just sucks to see an individual losing their job that was putting their best out there, but was not given the platform and the time that is needed, especially for Jake, who was a LA native here. He had potential. He could have been our next cruiserweight champion if he was given the time. But Bronson too just had the North American title and then he lost it and then cut. And it was like Mercedes, another one. Could have been your next Shayna Baszler for NXT, but he would have, created her develop her more with a ruthless aggression, but didn't happen. There you go. I digress. That's how I feel about it. So, Anthony, the floor is yours.
Oh boy. Well, first of all, I need Ivan to just come next week and do the whole episode with his Johnny Ace voice because that literally almost knocked me out of my seat. Welcome to another circle of debate.
Let's do another one. Yeah, I love it. We gotta do it.
What side?
What side? We gotta do it.
Oh my goodness, that was hysterical. But okay, so like I said off camera, a lot to say about this, so I'll try to keep it all together as much as possible. But first, let me say that I'm going to speak like how you speak from a business and a wrestling fan perspective. I'm just going to speak from a wrestling fan perspective because, I don't know if they're selling. I don't know how it works. I don't know if these are moves to be selling. I don't know yet. So I can't really speak on that behalf. But as a wrestling fan, so that whole point about, Vince never stepping foot on OVW, I had no idea about that, but like, that's a really good point. The thing is that, I feel like that wouldn't have made a difference if Vince was there. If anything, he probably would have been enticed even more because, beef guys, Brock, Batista, Cena, they were beefy men, which Vince loves. But, I don't think it would have made that much of a difference, but that was still a great point. I hadn't even known, I didn't even connect that he wasn't even there. But the way that I'm looking at it, this is such a strange situation because with these moves, if they're, they haven't really confirmed anything of like what the new perspective on NXT is. These are all rumors at the end of the day, but if the rumors are true that, they are going to be focusing more on under 30 guys, bigger guys, building up stars, then for me, they're kind of going in the route of what NXT started out as after the game show shit.
Exactly.
After the game show stuff, and Titus O'Neil carrying around kegs and whatever. When NXT first went to Full Sail, because you got to mention you had guys like The Shield and you had guys like Big E who were still pretty big guys, and they kind of built those guys up. So I feel like they'll go in that direction. And honestly, I wouldn't be opposed to it, of them focusing more on, building the new stars. That's not to say that all of them have to be huge guys. They could still put a focus on some of the smaller guys. And I feel like if they do it in a correct fashion, then it would be, it would be okay. But here's where it just becomes really weird, is that if you're going to sit here and tell me that, NXT is going to go back to being truly developmental, it's not the third brand. Sure, I'm okay with that. But what now happens to the USA deal, the USA Network deal? They have 2 hours that they need to fill. what happens to your takeover events? Because if you are going to tell me that we're going to go back to 2012 NXT, there's no interest in takeovers. You know, if we're going to focus more on developmental and really bringing up guys to the main roster, why would we need takeovers? Why would we need 2 hours on USA? So maybe they could rework the contract with NBC USA being related to Peacock. Maybe they'll put it on Peacock. That's always an opportunity, and I would be opposed to that for a 1 hour show. I just don't understand like how this all came about so quickly. I feel like the real starting point was when Laurinaitis got back in his position, because I know for a while he was out of the talent relations. But right when he came back, that's when all these cuts started happening, and that's when the NXT stuff really came to fruition. So like, I guess that was the real starting point, and Nick Khan is kind of just the fire guy. But I feel like this has more to do with Johnny Ace than it really does the mentality of Nick Khan or Vince. That's just my prediction. Again, I don't really know the behind the scenes stuff. I can't really comment on that. But
what about Bruce though?
Bruce could be honestly in there too. I mean, I don't know where the power lies. Obviously, Vince is at the top. Nick Khan's under him. I don't know how the power is distributed when it comes to NXT, but I don't know. It's just, it's weird that you just put Johnny Ace back in that spot, and now all this stuff is starting to come about. That just connected with me tonight, and I'm thinking about that. But
yeah,
as far as the names themselves, Bronson Reed is a given. Like, what the fuck? He was called up for a tryout on the main roster, and we were expecting him. He did the match on Main Event with, I think it was like Shelton Benjamin or someone, and everyone was expecting him to be called up, and then he's just released like that. With this new mentality, I could understand, firings, not that I agree with them, but I understand like Mercedes Martinez, she's, close to 40. Bobby Fish, close to 40 as well. What I don't understand, also Tyler Rust, I believe is like 38, 30 something.
Yeah, like he's like not even like old. Yeah, not even.
But now I think one of the biggest that I can't get across, which you mentioned, Jake Atlas. He's like 20 something. So there's many reasons why. First, he's 26. Plus, he has a good look to him. Also, like, he's a good representation of the LGBT community. He was doing a lot in June for, being one of the only, LGBT males in the company. So I feel like that was also a good reason to, kind of push him to be kind of a representation for that community. So to cut him like that, with him being so young and with him being, having a good look, being good in the ring, I don't get it. And then, names that we didn't even mention because we haven't seen them at all. They've been stuck in the Performance Center and they haven't gotten a chance to be on NXT. Who even knows if they were, tall, big, under 30 guys?
Well, it was one Alex Zane though, but that was Art Sterling.
Alex Zane, Ari Sterling.
Ari Sterling. Yeah, he was. Yeah, we known him from the independent scene days.
Right.
I think I don't know if he was in an Impact or a Ring of Honor. I think he was one of those. I forgot. I think it was Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
So I mean, we're familiar with his work, and that's another one. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, he's under 30.
But here's the whole thing is that, like, that's why I feel like it's a little extreme to put the idea that it's strictly, they're going for the under 30 and the big guys, because they fired a diverse amount of people, big, small, buff, lean, all types of people. So, are we leading to that? Maybe. But then, like, what happens to guys like, I'm sure they won't lose their spot, but like, what happens to guys like Gargano and Ciampa, who are smaller guys and who are pushing 40? What happens to them? So I feel like there's a lot of moving parts here. Again, a lot of rumors, and we can't always trust the rumors.
Agreed.
I've blocked all the, Meltzer and Sean Ross Sapp. I've blocked all of them because there's so much information just being thrown your way that you don't know what to believe. And this whole NXT situation is just like perfect example of that. There's so many moving parts. You don't really know what's happening yet. So I'm kind of just sitting back and I'm going to wait to see what happens with the USA deal. I feel like that's such an important part to this because I don't think Vince would want his developmental territory on national TV.
I agree with you on that. And not only that, but NBC, are pissed off that this happened. They're like, what the fuck did you just do? So the networks are pretty mad. So I don't know if he's focusing on the networks, which I think he should. I don't know. Because remember, he has Raw on USA. So and that's part of NBC too, like you mentioned. I don't know how he's gonna. It's just I don't know. I'm with you. You have to wait and see. So I'm with you too. I'm just like sitting back and I want to see confirm with me. I want to see what's going on. I want to see more details before I even give my full attention on it. So I mean, you give me the attention now, but I just hope that I'm just praying to not fuck this up for NXT. But Money Mike, go ahead.
Ooh, boy, oh my God, that boy ain't right. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, I'll tell you what.
So, does Vince McMahon have such a next level consciousness that we cannot comprehend or fathom what he is doing? We are, oh my God, is he just on such a next level that we don't know? We, can't put together his grand masterful plan, to once again monopolize wrestling. I don't know. Who knows, really? What goes on in those meetings? Who releasing your talent to release? Yes, The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, such a diverse character. There he is again. Yes. I saw a YouTube clip a few months ago of The Fiend, or actually Bray Wyatt, as Funhouse Bray Wyatt, stopping by at a nearby news station to promote the events coming up on the weekend.
Clip. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. And
it was so entertaining to see him just do the weather. He said, "Oh, well, today, it might be a little cloudy, but on Sunday it's gonna be a cold day in hell because Hell in a Cell is gonna be here." So fun, great to watch all that, and turn on the switch. He's the Fiend, and we all know what that is. So to let somebody like that go is just insanity. I can't comprehend it. I'm not at Vince's level. I don't know. But okay. Let's say they have a plan. Let's say NXT is going to be restructured and it's going to come back and it's going to kick ass even more so than now. I mean, it'd be great because eventually I figure that they'll hire back a good amount of those wrestlers, that they let go. Here's hoping, right? Because of course it's terrible to see anybody lose their job, and just one person, but that's not the case. So many have lost their jobs this year. It's just and then they go on these earnings calls or whatever with investors saying that, oh well, we made quite a bit of money this quarter, and it's mostly because you're letting go of these people, and it sucks. It really does for them, and I cannot explain. And on the wrestling fan side and on the business side, who knows what's going on? And I look forward to the Dark Side of the Ring episode.
Oh yeah, good point.
That's right. Good point. I forgot about that.
But hey, I mean, Mike does. You make a good point in that. Maybe this is kind of like maybe something to look forward to. NXT was at its best when it was considered a developmental territory. Once they considered it a third brand, I feel that's when they really took a dip. That era from 2014 to at least 2017, 2018, that was your best NXT product right there. But what is also on the flip side of that is the only reason why they were that good is because they completely raided the indie scene. You know, Balor, Zayn, Owens, they just brought them in because they wanted to have all of the, you know, they didn't want anyone to get as big as AEW got. But here's AEW now. And, you know, not to really say that the indie scene isn't as big or flourishing as it was in 2014, 2015, but, you know, you're not seeing really ROH producing as big talents as Owens and Zayn were at the time, or, you know, the Young Bucks or Cole. Yeah, that's just the way it is, you know. So now that you have another juggernaut in AEW, now this doesn't leave enough room for WWE to raid the indies again. And now you're going to see more releases than you will see signings. And that kind of leaves me to say, will they even see another, you know, like how developmental was the better NXT from 2014 to 2018? You know, will we even see that? Because who was there to really bring in, who has buzz around them, you know?
And also the forbidden door, right? It's been such a big topic since AEW opened it, per se. And, you know, the WWE people that have been let go, NXT included, could end up in New Japan or Impact or NWA, ROH, right? So there's definitely options that could, you know, it's almost like, yes, WWE raided the indies, but now in a unwilling way or whatever, they're giving back to what they took. You know, it's going right back out there. So it's interesting to see. Yeah.
That makes absolute sense. Like, I get exactly what you guys both mean. It makes sense in that way. But I'm just, the reason why I'm going back towards it, because it's like, think about this. If there was the platform that we have, this technology now, if it was given to, you know, Florida, you know, FCW, OVW, things could have been different, even for the independent scenes. The only reason why, you know, like the names of Sammy, Pac, Owens, not even before Shinsuke, you know, none of that. This is like barely the upcomings. Cesaro, what he was taught to Casanova, Chris Hero. Before, you know, they were, you know, they were chosen. They picked them because, you know, the technology was growing, the platform was getting bigger. Now we have something more. If back in the days, if we would have had that, it would have been way far different. Way different. If OVW and FCW and the independent circuit at that time, Ring of Honor had, we could have seen an earlier AJ Styles or Christopher Daniels or Amazing Red. We could have seen the earlier Ring of Honor days, you know, the OGs. We could have seen them, you know, right now in WWE or barely being let go. So it's so, but I get both of you guys' point that they're, all right, we already used them. Here you go back where we came from. And the beauty of it, yes, that right now it's back. The territory days is coming back once again. Now we have it, but we all know for a fact that budget is a tough part because not everybody has what WWE or AEW has. They don't have that type of budget to pay them what they need to support their families. And I hope these individuals who lost their jobs from NXT saved up and, you know, make sure that, hey, you know, just in case, there you go, I'll put this away, spend this away, because, you know, any day and anything can happen because it's never guaranteed with WWE. So, I mean, I just hope that if they do go to that route, we're going to just say thank you very much for that, Paul Levesque. I'm pretty sure you're probably going to be the next one. Best of future endeavors. They're probably like, go back to the main roster, pal. You're going to be writer for SmackDown or for Raw. It might happen to that, you know, route. Like, nope, William Regal, you're gone. I don't need you anymore. Go to the UK. You might even shoot. Oh, my God. Imagine if he goes to the UK now trying to shut that shit down. Like, think about that. All the plans that NXT had. Think about, yeah, exactly right. Imagine if he shuts down NXT UK.
It's so weird because we were saying for a while that like they were going to bring in NXT India or NXT Japan, and now we're at the point that it's like we're worried that they're going to take an NXT UK away, not add in new NXTs. that's where we're at right now.
Yeah, that's the biggest question mark that we're all questioning, like what it's going to happen. What's the future of the product itself? Because there were supposed to be future developmentals of, like how you mentioned, India. UK's already getting up there by far. So we don't, I think we'll find out after SummerSlam, or maybe probably in the beginning of September, we'll find out more of what the future holds for NXT. And we still got that draft coming up, I guess, or I guess upcoming draft. I think in October they pushed it, but by the looks of it, and all these changes, we might see it sooner. I don't know. It's a big question to see what's going to happen with the product itself. I just hope that it doesn't go away, and I'm hoping that Paul Levesque, how he fought for Samoa Joe to bring him back, he fights the people that he wants to bring back. I hope he does, but it's going to be tough because it's your father-in-law, for God's sakes. He's the one with the money. He's the one cutting the paycheck. It's not you. Unless you sold your stocks for a reason to buy him out, do it. That's what I'll do. Fuck it. Buy him out. Take that NXT brand away from them. Buy him out. That's what I would do. Tell him, you know what? Fuck you, Vince. I'm taking this product, and then it's going to be mine. It's mine now. That's what I'll do. And, of course, two more for the night. We do have Triple Mania. We are going to see El Idolo come, taking that. We can see him take away that AAA Mega Championship away from Kenny Omega. Unfortunately, we here in the States are not able to see it on how they put it on YouTube or Facebook. You will have to be a subscriber for the Latino channels to get that. But, there's always a will, there's always a way. Wink, wink, no matter what. So there you go. For us to watch it. It'll be on Saturday at 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. The event is going to be like a 3-4 hour show. It's a stack card. We are going to see the Lucha Brothers defending their tag team. They're defending their tag team belts because they're the tag team champions for AAA in a triple threat match with Laredo Kid and Torres, and I don't know, some other groups. The card is stacked. They're overwhelmed. Also, Deonna Purrazzo, title for title versus Lady Apache. Winner takes all. So we might see a new belt collector coming up maybe, this weekend. You never know. And I believe Psycho Clown is the main event. I think, who was it he's going to face? So let's see. He was going to face, Rey Scorpion. So I guess it's mask versus hair. So, yeah, we'll see what's the people who doesn't know Psycho Clown. He was the father. He's the son of the silver shoulder, silver platter, Plata de Oro, the one who just recently passed away, Porky. So that's his father. So we might see him maybe lose his mask. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see this one. And also you got New Japan Wrestling here in LA in the Coliseum, the LA Torch. That's happening this Saturday. So we might see Sami Callihan and Jon Moxley versus the Good Brothers. We are going to have Tanahashi versus Lance Archer. That card is stacked as well. You can catch that on NewJapanWorld.com. Subscribe and watch that. I believe Matt is going. Did Matt buy his ticket, Mike? He did, right? So yes, Matt's he did, right? So he's going. So hopefully we'll get some footage from Matt and we'll post it up on the Circle of the Weight channel. And that's for sure. Now, let's see. The last one. Oh, by the way, Brian Myers won the Battle Royal to become number one contender for Kenny Omega's or Christian's Impact title. Just to let you guys know that. Yeah. I don't think nobody cares.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
But, well, there you have it. That's it for this evening, ladies and gentlemen. Obviously, our other brothers, especially as well, Anthony as well, they cover a lot more as well as we do. We keep everyone here in the League of Extraordinary Podcast up-to-date basis of what's going on in the pro wrestling world. And that's what we do here. That's the best thing that we do here in the League, that we do that. So stay tuned as well that we are going to be having next week our League of Extraordinary Podcast SummerSlam predictions, as we're going to have the League coming back together.
It's this week, isn't it? Not next week. It's this Saturday.
Yes, but it'll be released next week.
Oh, fuck me. Sorry about that.
It's okay, Ninja. It'll be
I thought you meant we were recording it there. I was like, wait a second. That's SummerSlam weekend.
You'll be released next week, so be tuned for that, ladies and gentlemen. And I hope you guys enjoyed as well the interview that I had with Wrecking Ball Gursky. And also next week, you'll be seeing Brandon Ascari. Had a little press conference with myself and Dirty Heels and the director, Chris Kennedy, as we talk about next week's upcoming free on YouTube tonight event, GSW Global Festival. So stay tuned for that. Looking forward for that. And once again, we appreciate you all for tuning in. But before we all let you go, I'm going to let the prodigy of podcasting give his shout outs. Where can you find him? Where can you locate him? And where can you buy his merch?
Oh, man. Oh, man. Well, first of all, GSW is free on YouTube?
Yes.
Nice. I was like, because I really wanted to see that show. I was like, wait, I don't have like the Fight TV or whatever. That's exciting. I'm definitely going to tune into that. Because I saw the card and I'm like, definitely. But nevertheless, first of all, I want to thank you guys for having me on. It was great to, finally chop it up with y'all again. And it's always great to collaborate. So, however, if you want to see more of this bright, beautiful prodigy face, you can go ahead and follow me on Instagram at the Titantron Podcast. You can follow me on Twitter at _Titantron, where I give my wacky wrestling opinions. I was for a while doing daily episodes, but I have since then put that on pause because school's coming up and I don't like waking up at 6 a.m. every day to record episodes. So I'm kind of putting that on pause for a little bit. However, starting next week is the return of the flagship show, weekly episodes. I've been doing a lot of changes over the summer, but we're finally going to get back to business. Weekly episodes, bringing on some guests. You could see the Circle of Debate guys possibly popping in every once in a while. Interviews. I have interviews that I haven't even posted yet, one of which with Jeremy Prophet, which I will get as soon as possible. Speaking of interviews, I have a series that I'm going to do once a month with an interview with a wrestler or a, interviewer, commentator, whatever, and a fellow podcaster, where we talk about a certain aspect of wrestling, and I kind of make it sound cool and everything. I've already posted an episode of that with Tyler from Counted Out, as well as Vince Russo himself.
Bro, come on, bro.
And we talked about, Judy Bagwell on a pole. I'm kidding. We talked about, it was a forklift. Never mind.
There you go. That was
we talked about just the current state of wrestling, and it was great to hear both of their guys' opinions. Also have a new show, which might as well announce it on here. It is a brand new show that I'm doing called I Was There. Basically, it is I'm going to bring in different podcasters or whoever else I can get and, kind of interview them. But the whole catch is that it's a podcaster or someone who was at a famous wrestling event in history. So I have a few guys already lined up, guys who have been, I haven't even asked you guys yet. I have to see where you guys have been in the past, but, I have guys from, ECW One Night Stand, Dom, from, Top Rope. I have guys from WrestleMania 30 lined up. I have a potential guy from WrestleMania 18, which I'm hoping to get him on for the first episode, but whole different slew of different shows coming. Lot to be excited for. I'm taking up a lot of time on this plug, but I'm very sorry. I have a lot. I got a few things to get to. Merch, like Ivan said, I have some merch as well as a Circle of Debate. Make sure to buy their merch, and I'm sure they'll talk about that in a minute. But merch. I actually posted a brand new design. It is the Titan collection. I love it. White shirt, or you could change up the color with a little logo that says Titan. It's pretty cool. And very cheap shirt. I made sure to make it cheap so you could buy the shirt and rock it out with Titantron. Like I said, episodes every Friday. And my last thing, Fridays normally at 10:15, but it will be later tomorrow because of Rampage. At 10:15, I have been doing a lot of work with the Turnbuckle Tavern, and I do weekly SmackDown reviews with Tom, the OG Fig Kid. We are your mama's favorite podcast duo, and we talk about SmackDown. We normally complain about SmackDown and anything else in WWE because that's normally how it goes with us. And it's always a fun time, and it's live. Anything can happen live. We usually get some guests every now and then, so it's always a fun time. So there's a lot of stuff happening with this logo behind me, and I'm looking forward to all of it. And I'm most definitely looking forward to future collaborations with the two amazing gentlemen that I've talked to today, and more League of Extraordinary podcasters. Stop. No, continue. But and all the League of Extraordinary podcasters. So again, thank you for this opportunity. I always love to stay up till 1 a.m. talking with you guys. It makes it much more worth it being on the East Coast. So thank you guys, and I can't wait for the next one.
I can't wait. Don't forget, we still have the SummerSlam, and we have the recap of it as well, because we have to do a recap of the SummerSlam.
Yes,
it's a lot of shit gonna happen this weekend, and NXT Takeover recap. We got to do that for as well. So we're looking forward for that. Even though right now, ladies and gentlemen, we did not catch up with this past week NXT. It wasn't much. I mean, all we just saw was just Cameron Grimes. He's gonna be facing. Let me talk to you, baby. Eli Drake. Oh shit, LA Knights. I forgot he's formerly known as Eli Drake.
Well, actually, the best thing from NXT was the Indy Hartwell segment.
Yes.
When Candice goes, I can't believe I'm asking this. Do you have any protection? And Indy goes, Candice, I'm a former tag team champion. I don't need protection. I fucking love it.
I love it. And congratulations to Candice LeRae and Johnny Gargano expecting their first child. Congratulations. I'm happy for Candice, but damn, Candice, you should have been a women's champ before that, though. No offense, Johnny. I mean, Candice is also a California native, so shout out to her, kudos to her. Congratulations for you both. And so, yeah, keep an eye on NXT. We'll talk about that next week as well on the League of Extraordinary when we talk about TakeOver and SummerSlam put together. And hopefully we'll do a top 5. We haven't because of our schedule. And hopefully Anthony will join us in the top 5. We have a lot of top 5. We have, I'll name them now, but still have to do our top 5 worst debuts and a top 5 SummerSlam pay-per-views and a top 5 NXT TakeOver matches.
And don't forget the one that I presented, the top 5 most controversial opinions.
I love it. And also, if you want to have, I was there, Mike, tell them what WrestleMania.
31.
Nice. I will definitely get you on for that. Nice.
He was there when Seth Rollins catched it.
Fucking yeah, dude. Oh God, I need to get you on. We'll talk after the show. But, I'll have your people call my people. But yeah,
that's right. Thank you so much once again, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in here on Circle Debate, Titantron, the Titantron podcast. Because, like I said, we just don't do podcasting here. Money Mike, tell the people what we do in the League of Extraordinary Podcasts and the Titantron and Circle Debate. Tell them what we do.
We do all sorts of things, but above all else, we make history.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen.